Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm so excited because I have another DIY sewing tutorial for you. So about 6 months ago, I did a video on how you can slim a sweater in 8 minutes, and today I'm gonna show you how you can slim a dress in under 8 minutes. Okay, so this is what the dress looks like right now. I already love how it flows, but as you can see, it's way too big in the waist here. So I am going to show you guys how to fix that very easily. So some things you'll need for this project are some straight pins, scissors, a tape measure. Coffee is optional but highly recommended, and then of course a sewing machine. I will link down below some sewing machines that I recommend. I know in the last video I got a ton of questions about it. So this is a Kenmore. I've had it for about 15 years now, and I will link another option down below for you guys because I'm not sure if this one's still available. Okay, so I flipped the dress inside out. Your zipper placement is very important. On this dress, it's directly behind the dress. And the benefit to it being directly behind is that it's easier to go in equally on both sides. Now, a lot of dresses, the zipper is on one side, and when the zipper is located on one side, you really only have one side to go in on unless you remove the zipper and then take it in, which is a lot more work. It's not impossible to do it with one side. I've done it before, especially if you only have just like a little bit to go in on and you really can't tell at all. But when you have to go in as much as I need to, the zipper in the back is very important. I'm gonna start pinning where the waist is about 1.5 inches in on either side. And when I start sewing, because so much in this area needs to go in, I actually need to start sewing up here under the sleeve and then go down in the bodice area and then taper off where the skirt is. Another thing is when I'm pinning the waist, I need to make sure that the seam in the back matches up with the seam in the front before we pin. So I'm gonna take the tape measure, and 1.5 inches is right there. And then I'm just gonna feel the back and make sure that the seams align both in the front and the back. So this is the seam I'm talking about here, and then that's the seam that we wanna match up. That way when we go in, it's a nice straight seam when you look to the side and it doesn't look off. Now I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other side. Now, because there's a lot of space underneath my arm, I'm able to go up 1.5 inches. If the armhole is already tight on you, then just make sure that it's not too small for your arm. Okay, so here are what the pins look like. They're like general guidelines along where I need to sew. And then this is what the other side looks like as well. Okay, one more thing I forgot to mention, and that is that you will need thread to match your dress. So I have green thread in my sewing machine right now. Okay, so 2 things to note. One, I'm gonna use a straight stitch, just follow the pins. This is a straight stitch. And then another thing is I am starting underneath the cuff where the seam is. So I wanna just gradually build up from where their seam is and then taper in and then taper out. Okay, so it already looks so much better, but in between, like the 1.5 inches on the waist fits really good, but between this point and underneath the arm, there's still quite a bit, maybe like 1/2 inch on either side. So I am going to go in between this point and this point and make it just a little bit tighter, but it already looks so much better. I mean, shoot, you could probably call this done, but I just want it to be a little bit tighter in that area. And then I'm also checking to see how the taper looks on the sides. It actually looks really good, so I'm probably just gonna leave that. Kind of adds to the flowiness of the dress. But in between this point and this point, I'm just gonna go a little bit tighter. So let's go. Alright, so now that I have the stitching where I want it, I'm actually going to flip it inside out again, and then I'm going to do a zigzag stitch just to secure it and cut it, and then we're done. But it looks so much better the way a dress should fit. If you have a traditional zigzag stitch, you can just go ahead and use this one, but I'm actually going to be using this one here because it's a straight stitch with a zigzag, so it's extra secure, so I'm going to be using this one here. Okay, so next I'm just gonna trim along right below the zigzag stitch that I just did. All right, so this is how it turned out. It's so beautiful. It fits me like a glove. I need to go throw some sneakers on and go wear this thing. So that's it for this tutorial. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified because I make new videos every single week and I want to show you guys. So go ahead and subscribe and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.